He's got the Oki. He just doesn't know how to combo in the corner. Or anywhere. And Gon's got an opening. That's like 80. Good for fun, he gets 80 damage. The perfectly lapped 69 to get 100 MP? He has 3 bars now?
This is a video about a Roblox fighting game where if you route your combo to do specifically 69 damage, the game gives you 3 bars of meter. This is Azure Night Sky. It's kind of like if Guilty Gear was in Roblox. Kind of. Azure Night Sky, also known as Guilty Gear Roblox since the April Fool's update, is a 2D anime fighter primarily developed by Harry VPN. It's got its roots in a lot of different fighting games, but mostly Guilty Gear and Melty Blood. The fact that it's made in Roblox comes with some dire consequences, like the netcode being pretty awful all around and tons and I mean tons of jank. The game accounts for this though, with hitstun and juggles being very lenient. This also means the combo system ends up being very freeform. Just about any combo you can imagine you can do. I tried to play the game to get some footage, but my internet is a lot worse now, and I think the game might have slowly gotten buggier too, from Roblox updates maybe. So since I can't play the game now, I'll just have to reflect on it instead. Let's go back in time a bit. Before I tried to record in a decent quality, so a lot of this footage is gonna be crusty. Me and my buddy Braven found the game sometime in late 2021, and we were addicted. Despite all the flaws, despite all the lag, it was awesome. We quickly realized how fucked up it was. It's got double jumps, super jumps, and air dashes of course. Basically any move can hit OTG. They have a rainbow of bursts. There's blue burst and gold burst, which you know from Guilty Gear. Blue burst is used to escape combos, and gold burst fills your meter up all the way, but you can only do it in neutral, making it especially risky. There's red burst, which is a sort of replacement for Roman cancels. You do it while you're comboing someone to spin your burst and pop them up. It reverses damage scaling, so if you do this at the start of a combo, you can get a combo that has positive damage scaling. Some characters get touch of death combos from this. Then there's green burst and purple burst. Green burst functions like Skullgirl's infinite prevention system, which is how the game keeps its ridiculous combo system in check. If you loop the same moves too much, they can get green burst and escape, and it'll give them their burst back too. Purple burst is the same, but only happens if the IPS is triggered 3 times and makes the burst full screen and unblockable. It used to do a shit ton of damage also, but they removed it because they hate fun. The most important thing to note is that you only get 1 burst per game unless they accidentally trigger your green burst, so you need to spin this very wisely. The game's got 5 characters covering basically all the base fighting game archetypes. Oath is the all-rounder. He's very inspired by kaywayz, with a powerful DP and a version of Stun Edge. He even has Stun Dipper, though he's not a 1-to-1 clone. He comes with some tricks of his own, like his dive kick. At one point, he was considered top tier, but I think this was due to the fact that the #1 ranked player on the leaderboard at the time, Chimzy, solo-mained him. The leaderboard sat in the game's lobby before you even started playing. It counted game wins, and you'd think that this would be pretty exploitable, but since the game was so small, no one really bothered to cheese the board and climb to the top. This made the leaderboard a decent measurement for total gameplay time. Chimzy was known as a pretty good player, though controversially had a terrible connection. This lag frequently activated what the community would call the no anim bug, where animations broke completely and the character was stuck in the A pose but could still act. So he'd be hitting you with invisible moves and you couldn't tell what he was doing at all. A few players even considered his lag straight up cheating, but there was not really much he could have done about it. That's not to discredit him though, he had solid fundamentals and is the one main Oath representative. Giovanna and Mai, well you might notice a stronger resemblance to some characters here. They're not really important to today's story, but they're cool. Giovanna is a rushdown with great mix but suffers from having short moves that don't control space very well. Any Giovanna experience you may have in Strive won't really transfer to this character though. She doesn't have that full screen plus unblock kick move or 214K or like most of her special moves from Strive. The closest thing is this flip move, but it has 3 versions now. One that hits high and one that's slower but hits low, and a fucking like flying roll with armor, I guess. She can also go yoop. I love pressing the button that makes her go yoop. Mai was the last character to be added to the game. She's designed to be a beginner character and has no motion inputs. She's mostly based on Mei from Guilty Gear, obviously, so she does have, you know. But she also has some cool new tricks, like this bubble trap move. At one point she was really overpowered, but she got toned down a good amount. Now for the main two characters of this story. Gaunt?
Yo June, I'm really glad you're making an Azure video. I'm gonna let you finish. But Gaunt is one of the greatest grapplers of all time. For my money, this is the most interesting character in the game. Gaunt's got heavy inspiration from other anime grapplers, from Potemkin, to Broly, to Kanji from Persona 4. Gaunt has grabs galore. Normal grab, air grab, command grab, anti-air command grab, overhead hit grab. I can't list them all. He's got too many grabs, but it's not just his grabs that make him sick. He has the coolest system in this game. He's a snowball leveler. For just 100 meter, you get to drastically improve your moveset 3 different times. And surely, improving your character this much would be risky, right? Hell no! Gaunt gets to freely combo into these level up supers at a whim. It's got low startup, OTGs, and crumples the opponent for like 10 years. And if you have meter, it just keeps going. You want free meterless armor? Level 1. You want longer combos? You want your command grab to launch? Level 2. You want to become the best character in the game? Level 3. Now you're fully snowballed into your max install. You are so privileged, it doesn't even feel fair. You get your air dash, your 2H shoots out projectiles, a ton of your moves have more range, and that super. Don't get me started on Gaunt Laser. Your little install super gets replaced, and you still get to keep that crumple state, but now it does 1,000,000 damage and is full screen. Gaunt gets all these tools and gets to round out to such a unique character. He's so fun to play as. Too bad he only needs one move. 2L, baby! This button is sex. If you look at it, it might just look like a little poke. You would be very wrong. This thing is massive. It's quick. It's safe. It launches. And before they nerfed it, it used to have full upper body invincibility. You could do infinites with it because the upper body would dodge burst. But even with all this, there are still struggles. The high tiers in this game have quite oppressive zoning. And Gaunt, who doesn't have an air dash until level 3, becomes a victim of this. And getting to level 3 is a lot harder when you can't get in close. So Gaunt becomes a meter impoverished freak. All because of a certain demon.
And there's also Order Oath. From the name, you might think he's another rushdown like Order Soul, but he's far from that. He's a monster. Order Oath is a set play zoner with some of the best specials and supers in the game. He can set up 3 swords to float aimed directly at the other player. From here, he can send one at a time or all at once, making for an incredibly oppressive zoning game. Not only that, but he can use his 623 to summon a sword from the ground at 3 different locations on the screen, hitting low and knocking them down. Remember, this game lets you OTG with anything. This move combos into itself 3 times. So surely as a zoner, he's bad up close, right? If you close the gap, you can just beat him up? No! He's got a lot of Oath's great normals too, and a standing overhead with armor. You can combo off this too! His level 1 supers are a massive wave of swords that can go backwards and pull people in, or start from him and bring people out. These combo into each other, of course. He's insane, but he's so sick. Hitting crazy sword setup combos feels awesome, and his air throw animation is peak. He doesn't do as much raw damage as Gaunt, but if your execution is tight and your ping isn't terrible, he can pull off some crazy combos. They even have a combo trial in the game dedicated to teaching you a TOD of his. So yeah, he's pretty ridiculous, but he's sick, so it's chill. Which is why I played him, of course. But I was never really that good at the game, and fuck, the lag is just so frustrating to deal with. Some people like Braven were much better at stomaching it though. Braven would grind the game against basically anybody willing to play, and on December 27th, 2021, he would post this screenshot to the server. He'd made it to the 2nd spot on the leaderboard. I was in 4th too, but that was pretty much where I'd stay. So instead of focusing on grinding and getting better, I shifted more towards hyping up Braven and hosting events. And that's how the Evening Azure begun, in January of 2022. Only 2 of these tournaments were run, but they both had a decent amount of entrants for how small the game was. Everyone was grinding the game in anticipation for the tournament, since it was the first one in a while. It was a lot of fun to run. I'd set up a silly little stream and have my friends, including Braven, help me commentate. Some of the sets were so sick, like Cheemsy versus Brian, a battle between the top 2 ranked players. We got to watch Harry, the lead developer, play too. Braven had this to say.
I have some matchup knowledge against Harry. Unfortunately, he's not the greatest.
So, Braven got anti-air.
Anti-air.
Uh-oh.
Cheemsy easily won the entire tournament, taking grand finals over Harry. Evening Azure 2 was a slightly different story. There were a few more players. Fun fact, Para, the current best Pokemon close combat player in the world, was there. They lost a round 1, not winning a single game. Which is funny as hell. Everyone starts somewhere, I guess. Braven was getting better, making it to grand finals. He and Cheemsy have sparred a couple times before this, and they're pretty closely matched. Cheemsy, of course, activates his secret technique, the A pose, a classic move. Completely unable to tell what Cheemsy is doing, Braven loses. People weren't happy about this. Not just Braven. This guy in general seemed very keen on banning Cheemsy altogether.
Your Wi-Fi is fucking garbage, so you can slip out of every single little combo and abuse every single little bug to your advantage! This game is still beta. There's lots of bugs and glitches.
Though some, namely Harry, were skeptical, claiming Cheemsy was simply better. He was the #1 ranked player after all. Braven stuck to his guns though. He never switches to another character. He continues learning the matchup, sparring with Cheemsy often, even taking sets off of him. He'd also play with Brian and Xenovaleth, 2 very strong Order Oath players. Me and Braven also played a lot, even before this, and I mostly only played Order, so overall, Braven got a lot of Order Oath MU experience. He'd really need this since Gaunt Order Oath is probably the worst matchup in the game. It's a classic case of a grappler versus a zoner. A couple days after Evening Azure 2, a completely innocuous message appears on the Discord. Make a boss to fight an Azure. And you know, being my silly self, I had to hype up my buddy. There already is one. Have you played Braven? Monocle emoji. Harry pops in. That's an easy boss then. Hey yo, Braven, Harry's talking shit. Should I can back up. The situation continues to escalate. Gotta do a 1st to 5 with Braven. 1st to 10, I'll stream it. Strongest Gaunt player versus Braven. Braven can't play himself, what do you mean? Braven shows up.
I'm the strongest Gaunt though. I'll rub my nuts across your face in a set anytime, Harry.
Let's fucking go then. So the 1st to 10 started, a mirror match between Braven and the very guy who coded the game to see who the better Gaunt player was. Game 1 starts off with Braven getting an early lead, even getting a perfect on the first round. It looks like a complete massacre. One part of the game I didn't mention before is the round system. You start the game in neutral positions and can move around but not attack until the round starts. But the second round simply refills both players' health and does not reset their positions to the middle of the screen. This means a lot of the time the player that lost the round is starting the next one getting up from a knockdown. This system mechanic amplifies Gaunt's already snowbally gameplay into what I can only consider a fucking avalanche. Harry only gets one chance to breathe when he spins his burst before getting put right back into the corner. Game 2 starts with Harry showing off his more technical Gaunt combos, doing fancy air strings, which Braven usually declines to do. Braven finds an opening with a well-placed 2L, but due to the aforementioned Roblox jank, Harry clips through him and escapes corner, ending the round in Harry's favor. Round 2 starts with Braven sneaking out of corner with a cute JL and almost ending the round right then and there, with a swift level up sequence to get him to level 3. But another wake up 2L, the Gaunt Classic, from Harry is all he needs to get his momentum back and clutch out the round. After this game, Harry is sweating a little bit. He claims that the 1st to 10 would take too long. I didn't have any sportsmanlike things to say about this.
He said 1st to 10 too long. Whee!
What? No way.
That's what Harry said.
Braven simply decided he would make things quick. Game 3 starts and Braven basically instantly takes the first round, and round 2 ends just the same. Harry almost makes a comeback with the double EX command grab, but any hope is snuffed out by another wake up 2L. Game 4, something shifts. Something is different in the air.
Oh, okay. First at 10, too long.
Oh god, they're
Why-
naked? They
why are
activated
they
new
naked?
mod? They took their clothes off, it's getting serious.
Jesus. Oh my god.
Why are they naked? It's so funny that their hair is still on there.
They're just fucking naked! It's almost as if the Roblox gods wanted Braven to keep his promise. Harry takes round 1, and in round 2, Braven finds another wake up 2L and converts into a full level up sequence.
Oh, you're right. It's like Zardy.
Did you think I just randomly made a crow noise? for no reason?
Once Harry's in the corner, he stands no chance at all against Braven's pressure, and round 3 goes by in the blink of an eye. He's done it. He's rubbed his nuts across his face. So fucking stupid. The first to 10 has basically already been won at this point. The set is 3-1, Braven's favor. Game 5 and 6 are both more Braven stomps, but we see him adopt Chamesy's special technique, hitting Harry with the fucking salty spittoon.
It's so strange.
Harry's had enough, really, getting shit stomped at his own game. When he said that he was the strongest god, he snaps. He switches to Order Oath. Immediately, the pace of the game changes drastically. Harry suffocates Braven with wave after wave of swords, not letting him level up at all. Gaunt doesn't have an air dash before he hits level 3, making it a lot harder to close the gap. The next few games are like pulling teeth. Despite all of Braven's Order Oath matchup experience, it's rough. Sword after sword. When Braven can get close, he's beaten out by that armored overhead. It's hard to get the momentum when you're driving against a brick wall. Harry wins one game, then another, and another, and another. The set's 6-5 now, still Braven's favor. Harry really evened it up here. And from how it seems, you'd think it'd just be an Order Oath sweep. This is the worst matchup in the game after all. Which is what I would say. If Braven wasn't the GOAT! Game 12 starts. It looks like the usual, but Braven's being more careful, more patient. Braven gets an opening with the falling JL, but Harry bursts. Then Braven goes for a Hail Mary. The J2S Gold Burst. This is a major risk. If he goes for the Gold Burst and Harry blocks it, Braven will be down the rest of the game without any way to escape Harry's combos. But it works. It actually works. Gold Burst fills Braven's meter in its entirety, giving him the level ups he needs. Harry is panicking at this point. He's abandoned the zoning game plan. He just starts jumping at Braven. Braven uses his trademark 2L again to great use and takes both rounds with relative ease. He even rubs his nuts across Harry's face again, for good luck. The next game, Braven doesn't have the same Gold Burst X Factor, but it seems like that win gave him the confidence boost he needed, winning round 1 from literally 1 HP. And all he needs is that one bit of momentum. The rest of the games go just as smoothly. Harry just couldn't mentally recover from that Gold Burst and abandons the game plan that wins him games in favor of trying to rush him down and end it as fast as possible. Though it doesn't end without just one more reminder of Harry's newfound Gold Burst drama. And of course, you can't forget the A-pose bug either. So that's that. The set is over. Braven won with a score of 10/6. Harry rushed to the Discord to John, claiming Braven only won because the connection was bad. Braven only had this to say.
Make a game you're good at next time.
The link to the first to 10 VOD will be in the description if you want to see the full thing. We love this game. Then there wasn't really any bad blood with Harry or Chimsy or anybody, don't worry. It's all in good fun. Me and Braven would continue to play the game casually, maintaining our spots in the top 4 on the leaderboard. We were like some kind of Disney Channel's pair of kings. But that was 4 years ago now. Things are different in 2026. Azure Night Sky is completely deserted. This didn't happen for no reason though. For that, I'll have to rewind to 2022 again, just a few months after the first to 10. It's April, Harry announces in the Discord that Azure Night Sky has been sold. We don't know to whom it was sold at the time. In June, he asks how to rename the characters to be roles instead of names. It's still unclear what the plan is at this point, but Azure's still getting small updates. Nothing major, no more characters, just bug fixes and small balance changes. Eventually it gets out that the person who bought Azure, Psych, was planning on reworking the game into a more marketable sequel called Row Fighters. It'd feature anime characters like Luffy and Goku, fucking Dio from JoJo's, and yes, he had the Road Roller. This game still had at least a few of the Azure characters too, but specifically not Order Oath. Psych would post teasers on Twitter occasionally, showing off what they'd be working on. He'd post some other things too. In this phase of development, playtesting was pretty much open to whoever. Since Braven and I were well acquainted with Azure and its community, we got to play it for a bit. I don't have access to it anymore, but it was everything you'd want from an Azure sequel. More characters, and they were all sick. And they were working on improving the netcode and reducing the amount of jank, but I don't really remember if it was any better. This game's gonna be so awesome when it's done. Or so I thought. Eventually I stopped playing and I hadn't checked on it for a long time. Apparently the entire project went up in flames. The next part of the video is a bit more serious. We had the opportunity to interview Harry, the original lead dev behind Azure Night Sky, to fill in some of the gaps of our research and get his perspective. The interview, combined with an article detailing part of the development history of Row Fighters, which will be linked in the description, were both used to write the following section. So Psych reached out in early 2022 after seeing Azure. He saw the potential in the game and PayPal'd Harry $100 for a copy. Psych would go on to hire a new team to get the game going, though Harry would personally take a step back before starting active work on the game again in January of 2023. Psych's role was purely managerial and handling business, but he was a bit over-ambitious. He'd aim to develop more than 60 skins for each character to be available on launch. During mid-2024, progress would slow down so much that eventually people just lost interest in the project, and Psych would look for another person to buy the game from him. The game's ownership trades hands again on November 20th, 2024, with Jellyplay, headed by Drago, purchasing 85% ownership of the game from Psych. This required everyone to sign agreements basically stating that in the case of development of Row Fighters going sour or being stuck in development hell, Drago would have to notify the team. They'd have 30 days to fix it and start showing progress before the team would be in breach of the contract and be removed or replaced. The original developers were promised royalties from anything the game earned in this agreement as well. Development was still slow. Drago's leadership was called into question. He seemed inexperienced and his company's work ethic was just awful. Harry stated in our interview that he would be contracted to work on the game for 10 weeks by Drago. He ended up working 12, but was scammed and only paid for 7 of those weeks. In the 11 months Drago was in charge, very little work on the game was actually completed. In October of 2025, Drago sends out a message to all developers and investors on the game.
Dear all, I wanted to let you all know that, as a result of our failure to develop and publish the game on the timelines we agreed with Liminal, I have now transferred all my interests in the game to Liminal. Liminal will now take forward the development and publishing of the game, and all decisions surrounding the game will be taken by them going forward. They will be in touch to discuss potential future collaborations on the development of the game. However, in the meantime, if you have any questions on how this transfer affects you, please do not hesitate to reach out. Josiah from Liminal Entertainment will contact you shortly. Thanks, Jellyplay LLC, Dev Drago.
This was completely breaking the agreement. Drago at no point gave the team any heads up before selling Row Fighters off to some random new company. He supposedly did this to sneakily make his money back from development costs, and now the game was being led by Josiah from Liminal Entertainment. Josiah got in touch with the team in a Discord group chat. Liminal replaces the entire original dev team of Row Fighters in an instant, and kicks everyone off the Roblox group that owns the game, replacing them with a new team of contract developers led by Jay. VT, who owned part of the IP before the game was sold to Liminal, was added to the group chat.
Who are you, and why are you working on this without my consent? I'm not a fan of the side dealing business you are doing and not notifying me of any of these actions you are doing. Need you to be extremely clear with what your intentions are and what you are doing. Otherwise, I will DMCA all assets I purchased and own within this project. You are infringing my works and not responding in the other chat with the major issues at hand.
No, we own 85% of the IP. We have majority and we have brought in another team to actually get this game off the ground. I tried arranging a call with you and my bosses to explain, but you were busy.
Means absolutely nothing if you do not have copyright ownership of the assets I own.
We want to release the game as much as you.
You didn't read any of the messages I brought up to you. Speak to your associate because your friend has fucked a lot of things up for us.
Those royalties that the developers were promised in the agreement with Drago? Completely gone from the original devs. The percent of the game's revenue instead given to Building Blocks, the contract team Josiah had hired. This came as a complete surprise to the original team. They had their game stolen from them and sold off to someone with zero notice and just had to scramble to figure out what the fuck was going on. Imagine being Harry right now. You started developing this game when you were just 15 because you loved fighting games. You've been working on this for years, and now it's gone. And the guy who bought it has the nerve to ask you to teach your replacement how your code works? They didn't really have much to say. Josiah had majority ownership over the game, and Jay was just a contractor. He was just doing what he was paid to do. VT tried to interrogate further, but Jay simply left the group chat. And that's sort of where Azure's story ends. Row Fighters may or may not ever come out, but at this point, I don't think I could stomach playing it after what happened. These were young developers that just got screwed out of their work. The sad thing is, this sort of thing happens all the time in the Roblox space. But they haven't really given up. Harry and the other developers have gone on to work on other projects. Wait, what the fuck? The game is back, kind of, but it's called R Fighters? And it has AI art in the trailer? It's still headed by Josiah and Liminal, and you know, of course the exact kind of person who would steal a game from young developers would love to use AI. They restarted the game from scratch, which I understand, I guess, since Azure's engine was buggy and the netcode was bad, but like, holy fuck! So to clarify, there's 3 games now. There's Azure Night Sky, which is also called Guilty Gear Roblox, Row Fighters, which was the first iteration of the sequel, and now there's R Fighters, which is fucking AI slop. So I guess the game is coming out probably. Oh my god. All of the cast from before, you know, Goku, Dio, Oath, Gaunt, they're replaced now with such iconic characters as Bolt, and Tom the Titan Shark, Dirty Harry. According to Harry, all of the original dev team of Row Fighters is banned from the R Fighters Discord, which is crazy, especially because the Twitter account that they rebranded to R Fighters used to be Sykes. It still has all the old Row Fighter teasers on it. They haven't shown the new game at all on Twitter. All the actual gameplay footage is hidden in the Discord. Josiah posted a small snippet of the new combat and it just... look at it. Look at it! Luckily, he added a poll beneath so everyone could leave their thoughts on how it looked, and yeah, everyone hates it. A lot of the people in the Discord seem to be disappointed in the change too, but at least they promised hundreds of limited skins. Yay! You'll never fucking believe who's a tester on R Fighters, by the way. Cheemsy. That A-posing motherfucker. I guess they needed someone to stress test their netcode. We'll have to see how the situation develops. If the game comes out, I might make a follow-up video checking it out. If you're interested in that, you can subscribe to catch that in the future. This video ended up being a lot longer than I expected. Initially, I thought I'd just be talking about a silly little Roblox fighting game I used to love, but then I stumbled into the whole developers getting screwed over thing. Also, Drago, if you watch this video, pay Harry the $1,500 he deserves. While I was editing the video, they revealed that you unlock the characters through a gacha mechanic. So just in case it couldn't get any worse, you know. Gacha fighting game. Yay!